Hey guys, welcome to the show. As usual, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. We've got an actual open discussion today. Nothing that's going to metamorphosize itself into a presentation, so I'm going to leave this totally open. Just going to sit down and shoot the breeze. What we got on the panel? Panel, sound off.
Yay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Great, thanks.
Double yay. As in, yay, yay.
That's it, thanks.
Yeah, Reggie's voice is just listening in because he can't talk, because of a mic that has to be sent still, so he needs a new mic.
Well,
and I don't have Paul.
Well, stop off at the dollar store and pick a new one up.
The dollar store. You wouldn't like that.
No, I wouldn't. And yeah, people say that. It's not true. I mean, to get you're going to have to spend some cash to get a good mic. There's no doubt about it.
Or you just get a good laptop, like me. And you get the Echo free. Wow.
The Echo free? Yeah, you know what?
The Echo's for free. That was
Yeah, oh, Echo. I got it. Yeah,
You're
you got it.
supposed to laugh now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, now I got it. But you're not echoing today.
Oh. They ripped me off.
We had the Adam Meekin, sir. Adam, so this is the usual. We have to go into what you had for tea.
Well, quite special to me. Mum's around. My mum's staying at the moment. My auntie's popped round to see her as well because mum's got out of hospital. So Marie's made, what did we have for tea tonight? We had a homemade quiche, a really nice short buttery pastry. Bit too much veg for my liking in it. I'm happy with the cheese, do you know what I mean, and the egg. But there was courgettes, peppers, and I think onion in there, all nicely roasted. And then with that we had a nice light salad with a mustard dressing and fresh carrot. So that's nice. It's summer virtually here, so I put a bit of fresh carrot on the salad, and then that was accompanied with fresh new potatoes, and they were like crushed and then served with a dressing, a mustard and vinaigrette dressing, and then there was some spring onion in there as well, and then some really nice flat Turkish flatbread covered in sesame seeds. And that went down with a bottle of Prosecco. Still going. That's tea for this Tuesday evening.
That's tea for this Tuesday. I'll tell you what, Adam. You're like an aristocrat, man.
I'm a very lucky man with a very talented wife.
I just had like maybe a half a peanut butter sandwich.
If it was me doing it, it probably won't be as far as that, John. I'd probably just get the spoon in the peanut butter. But not left to me. It's only left for me to eat.
Yeah, Mom, that cooks.
It sounds really good, Adam. I'm a quiche hater. I'm an egg man, but the quiche, I don't know. There's something about quiche that just turns me off, man. I don't know why.
It's one of those dishes, John, that takes me back. When me and Marie's been together since university, and she was basically she finished and I was still there for the end. She stood by me, and she got a job and stayed in Sunderland where I was at uni, and I would be doing tea them days because she'd be working, and that. So I'd try and do tea, and that quiche was one of the things I attempted. And I was very proud of blind baked me pastry in this, and put it in, got the mixture in, look in, no leaks, brilliant, it's in the oven. About 15 minutes in, I went, oh shit, there's the cheese on the top, on the side still. So my attempt at quiche was then to whip it out, shove my fingers into the quiche to make little craters, at a magic speed, it made them because they were all round. Fill it with cheese, and then I think this is why she doesn't let me do the cooking. Yeah, But we still refer to quiche as cheesy topped egg pie.
I didn't say that I found it difficult cooking. I said I didn't like it.
But believe it or not, I wanted to be a chef, John. That was all I wanted to do when I was a kid. But when I took my options, I took cooking, and I was told the following year, no, you're not allowed to do that. You got to do metalwork and woodwork. that was the route I'd have liked to have taken. How I landed in pharmacy, I don't know. But
oh, you said your wife, she left school she got out of school, university a year earlier than you. She's smarter than you.
no, I'm a toy boy. No.
Oh, we got some nice comments from the chat here. Quiche is for lazy and is just lazy and gross. Some people say real men don't eat quiches.
They call him
we got here like Gordon Ramsay joined the panel.
quiche. Gordon Ramsay joined the panel. Hey, I don't think the plural of quiche is quiches.
Well, it said it in the chat. I just
That's pretty funny. Did somebody write it in there? Hold on.
What is the multiple thing of quiches then?
Quiche.
It's fine.
No, deers.
Yeah. Well, Armin says cooking with Adam and John.
Catching deers. You remember that guy? I wish I could play that video. That is just hilarious. I wish I could play it, but too bad. Can't do that.
Yeah. Well, you guys together add up for the same thing, sort of. Right?
So, wait a second now. What did you have for dinner?
Me?
Yeah.
Sauerkraut and some bacon.
Sauerkraut and bacon? Why would you ruin the bacon?
Make the sauerkraut better.
That's a good one. You caught me off guard with that. That's pretty stupid.
True. Unfortunately, I mean, back in the day when I was young, I didn't like sauerkraut at all, and the only way that I do like it is to have some bacon next to it. So I take a little piece of bacon and a little piece of sauerkraut, and then together it goes. That's the way I learned to like it a little.
So that's all you had, though? Just sauerkraut and bacon? That was it? There's nothing on the side? Nothing to drink? Nothing like that?
And I topped it off with some dairy milk. Can I do it with milk?
That's an inside joke. Most people won't get that.
Yeah, it's from Terence Hill in one of these nice sort of bars that he was at.
It's a spaghetti western, right? They're outstanding. I loved them when I was a kid. They're outrageous movies, and that one is right up there.
Wasn't that in My Name Is Nobody?
Yes.
It was. Yeah,
Adam even knows. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I love that movie so much. I still do. I still like his. Nobody ever really dies, right? It's just fun. And I like the songs. I think the songs are from Morricone. It's an Italian music writer, film music writer. Yeah, it's good.
Oh, they're outstanding movies. All of them. I enjoy them.
I think the guy died of COVID.
Really?
Not Terence Hill, but the Morricone.
Oh, right. I like his brother. The one that very rarely says anything. He's real big and brutish, right?
Spencer.
He just gives him those disgusting looks.
He was not in this movie. He was not in My Name Is Nobody.
No, he wasn't there. No.
Yeah. I like those movies. Were fun, man. We used to rent those.
They were regular Saturday morning movies after cartoons. It would be them and probably a Clint Eastwood Western, which is not too far. The beginnings of were still sort of the spaghetti Western motif, right? With Tuco Tuco.
From Tobago?
Tuco Tuco from Tobago. That's where I got that from. Tuco Tuco, man. He's cool beans.
Oh, then we are back to dinner again with the beans, huh?
In fact,
if we're still staying cultured, before I jumped in Discord, I had a little up in the YouTube chat, and I think it's Bogan. Help a Bogan out here, which is Australian, isn't it? So Bogan Alsard, bit of poetry, which we tweaked a little bit. Instead of Humpty Numpty, we've tweaked it to a Numpty Rumpty, but you were treated to a bit of a poem. John, if I can read it from Bogan Alsard. Alsarid or Alsard, I'm not sure how it's pronounced.
If you will, sir.
Okay, then. Numpty Rumpty sat on a ball. Numpty Rumpty had a great fall. All NASA's ballers and all NASA's men would never find curvature again.
Very well done.
Shout out, Bogan.
Some men are some great poets.
I think that's right. Bogan's it's like chav in the UK, or I suppose redneck in America. I think the Aussie version. If you're there, dude, I'm being insulting.
They got rednecks there.
Well, it's like their equivalent, isn't it? So, like, we'd call it in the UK a chav. So, like, poor white people. It's a derogatory term for, I think. So, like, you would redneck, and I think in Australia it's bogan, isn't it?
Is that the name of it, bogan?
Yeah, I think that's. I'm taking a bow. He's taking bogan. Is that correct in terms of the definition of what a bogan is?
He's Swedish.
Oh, that don't help. I'm gonna have to Google this now in case I'm talking khaki.
Yeah, you're caught.
I don't know what it means in Swedish.
Take your time, man. We got plenty of time. I don't know where this is going. It's really cool.
There we go. See, I'm not wrong. Bogan, only one G though, is the most significant word to be created in. Right, I'll start again. Bogan is the most significant word to be created in Australian English in the past 40 years. It is defined as an uncultured and unsophisticated person, a boorish and uncouth person. That's from the Australian National Dictionary.
There you go. You're right on it, Adam. I stand corrected. You're the man. That's a redneck.
Yeah. Or a chav. Yeah. I would class myself as a chav in the UK, mate. I love a tracksuit. I was brought up on a council estate. I take pride in where I come from. There's nothing. If I was a redneck in Australia, I'd say it proudly. It's where you're from and what you are, isn't it? If there's some chav like me can figure out that the Earth's not flat, then so for anyone.
That the Earth's not flat.
Not a ball, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I had to take a double take on. Wait a second.
Yeah,
not another one.
Thank you for the correction. It's harder to chop that out now.
Adam, I think you should go to the more expensive booze. It might help.
Platzoid. What's the equivalent in South Africa?
Chav.
Bogan, chav, or redneck?
Well, we don't really have that. Yeah, we'll just call them poor.
You just call them poor.
A poor bua.
Yeah.
Well, here in the South, you can be a redneck and not poor.
That's true. Very true.
Yeah,
we
just have the English, which you call soties or rednecks. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Soties.
Spell it. SOTIES.
SOUTIS. It's Afrikaans word, so it is.
Okay. See,
Complimentary, I assume.
We're getting cultured right now.
What's it mean, Flatsoid?
Somebody says in the chat that QE was thoroughly debunked long ago.
Oh, I gotta love those completely ambiguous innuendo fallacies. Hey, thanks, Tony Wickham. He says Ranty stating locally flat. Yeah, I heard that. Is he playing both sides? I'm not the thought police, but something funny as he not being called out by ballers. I don't know what's going on with him, Tony. I don't follow him. 3.5 years ago, I told you what I said to him straight up. I said he should be hung by a friggin' yardarm for sedition. And I stand by that to this day. Thanks for the super chat.
You're a good one. You're the... It was incorrectly stated, I think, on Globebusters that we fell out with Ranty. And I did mention that there were a number of us that we've never fell out with Ranty. Ranty ran off after he challenged you, as I remember, with regards to buckyballs and quantum mechanics.
Ranty, the quantum physicist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember the one day I came and he went haywire, and then he just left. That was about it.
And I'm not having a dig there. I'm just want to set that record straight. And Ranty rang me up to the day I spoke to him the day before, and I took his call and spoke to him politely, and as I always would, up until the day before the court case. You know what I mean? So pretend that we in some way ostracise or was bad to Ranty. He didn't. He made a point, lost heavily, and we didn't see him again. Was the reality of that.
Oh, that was a long time before the super chat Roxanne issue. That was at least 6 or 8 months he was gone, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sorry, I'm saying even up until that point, that was the last time I spoke to Ranty. You know what I mean? So we were still cordial then, even after, like I said, he tried to make that point to kind of debunk you in some way with a point, and respectfully lost heavily. And that was the last we saw of him after he got a ass whooping on that point. Right.
Sleeping Warrior, don't be mean to Randy. He wrote the book on optics, apparently. Yeah, that cracked me up. See the numpty. Oh, by the way, yeah, that's on the numpty clips. So that's a good one for the. Yeah, that's a good plug for the numpty clips, and they're rocking, folks. Make sure you're checking those numpty clips out. PhD Tony Purcell.
Kiri, is this book the same as a geometric horizon? It's there, but you can't see it.
What book?
Right. Well, exactly. It's a geometric horizon book. It's there, but you can't see it.
Oh, goodness gracious! I bet you he couldn't even define optics. I bet you he couldn't even spell cat if I spotted him the C and the A. That's how bad it is out there. He's not the only. I'm glad he fits right in with them. I mean, it's getting bad out here, folks. If you've been around the circuit recently, of course, they're all regurgitated 2015 arguments, but they're getting more retarded, if you can believe it. So that's all they got. In fact, I was talking to somebody yesterday, either yesterday or day before yesterday, and I put it like this. All they have are photographs from Narnia. Number one, they're not even photographs. They're images from a place that can't exist. All the other things, all you hear besides that is just theatrics and double speaking theatrics. It's really actually based, if you think about it, on photographs, in their words, photographs from space, right? If you think about it, that's all they got. That's it.
Photographs, you say?
Yeah. Well, that's what they say.
Yeah. From space, you say?
Yes, sir.
What's that then?
Think about it. That's all they really have. All the rest of the background noise is just theatrics because they screw the pooch with everything they say. Check out this week, Thursday. I'm going to highlight it with Mr. Bachelor's degree in physics, Fat to Fat Girth. You're not going to want to miss this one, folks. I'll tell you that. That's a numpty clip, by the way. Sorry about that, Betty. I rumpushed you. Go ahead.
So what else happened to you? Did you do anything else special?
Today?
I thought you were having a debate on 24/7.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. See, I would have forgot all about. Thanks for reminding me. Last Friday, I was scheduled to debate a PhD astronomer. And it went throughout the week. I kind of got a queasy feeling during the week that this was just, baloney. But they kept on, contacting me. That is a student. What happened was, let me just tell the story. It's short. I'll try to keep it concise. I was on 24/7. This guy come in and he said that astronomy was science. And I said, well, is astronomy natural science? And he said, yes. And I said, oh, really? I said, you agree that to be natural science that you have to have experiment? And he agreed. And I said, okay, well, at least he got that far. Usually we don't get that far. So I said, no problem. Since it must have experiment, then it must have a hypothesis. So I said, please post, the routine. Please post a single viable scientific hypothesis in the entire history of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics. I branched it out for him. Give him a little breathing room. And he couldn't do it. And then he said, well, his astronomy professor could do it. And everyone said, well, bring him in. And that's what led to him getting in touch with his astronomy professor and led to the 4 or 5 days of us trying to get this hooked up. And finally it did on last Friday. And I think it was 7:30 Central Time. 7:30 or 8 o'clock. So we got all in there, and then oh my God, 80 people piled in there. And there was a bunch watching. It was on 24/7 Helios stream. And I was kind of shocked at the amount of people, I guess the word of mouth, because I didn't add it or anything. I don't know if Helio did over at 24/7, but anyway, there was a ton of people in there, and he showed up. So I was like, well, cool, let's get on with it, right? And he introduced himself, and he taught at Princeton, and he had a pretty good introduction there. And then I just got right to cases. And I asked him the question is, we first had to go through what natural science was. After he wiki parroted some nonsense, he finally agreed with the definition that I gave him because it was pretty comprehensive. And so we got to it. I said, please post a single viable scientific hypothesis in the entire history of astronomy, astrophysics, or cosmology. So I branched it out for him too. And then after that, there was nothing. End of debate. Great story. Yep, that was the end of it, because from what I heard down to the pipeline, that he had Discord problems, and that was it. I haven't heard anything since. Immediately, he didn't contact me. A student contacted me and said, well, listen, he's really sorry and all that, and let's reschedule. And I said, sure. Let's do it this week, because this weekend I'm going to be out of the net. And that's the last I heard. Friday was the last I heard anything from anyone on it. So that's where it ended.
So not only the mic didn't do it, but the whole Discord sort of shut down. Huh?
No, he was gone. There was no mic. It was just complete silence for about 2 minutes. I thought he was, constructing one. I was looking in the chat to see if he was typing. Everyone was real quiet. They did a really good job. No one said it. No, you could hear a pin drop
in Discord.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's a new thing.
So, yep, that's where it stood.
When are we going to hear the real stuff then? Because
I just gave you the whole debate.
Yeah, I know, but I must have recorded it.
I did.
So if he doesn't show up in a week, we get to hear it.
There. Excuse me.
Sorry.
There's not much to hear. I pretty much gave you the whole thing.
Yeah, there is something to hear. I heard it, right?
Is there something in there that you like?
Yeah, I like the way you set it up.
I didn't set anything up. I just showed up.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, you can never know. So what you're saying is that you want to hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
I was going to say you two might know.
All right, let me see what I can do. Hold on a second. I knew she was going to try to play this.
She's trying to show up. We need to hear it.
All right, okay. 1 second. Admin break. Well, don't give me dead air. Make something up.
Oh, you kind of shut me down every time I do speak, so now I am silent and good.
Get busy.
Well, Adam, you're up.
Okay. Well, there is a Phil, because Flatsoid's here, and I wanted to give his presentation that he did on, I think it was Bev's Discord and then on YouTube. A shout out, really good in terms of, yeah. You should do it on Nathan's, mate, if I'm being honest. You should come on.
Yeah, I'd like to do it.
Just bring it on. Shut us up. We'll be quiet. You know what I mean? I'm sure Nathan would love it, mate. It's really good. And I think without the technical difficulties that you have to go through on there, I think it was a good point if anyone's looking at not just the Blackpool Swan, but any image, the points you're making, I think are relevant with regards to any analysis you want to apply. But really useful in batting away the straw mans that are being put our way at the moment.
Yeah, it's just basics on optics, and well, at the end of the day, it actually just demolishes any argument they brought about their Blackburn Swan argument. So they want to apply their trigonometry, they're going to need a lot more information. As easy as that.
You know, when you was doing the optics stuff, before you did it, did you read Ranty's book?
No.
Curious.
Yeah, the infamous book that doesn't exist.
Is that a new pun? Ranty's book that doesn't exist?
Mm-hmm. It's not my claim. It was Ranty.
Yeah.
I think he said he wrote the book on optics.
Yeah, Ranty just got caught with his pink panty, that's all.
Still at the Princess.
Did you say Ranty got caught with his panties down?
Yeah.
All right. Looks like we're ready to roll.
Okay.
You guys ready? I'm live streaming, so just hook up into the live stream. Tell me if you hear it. One second.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a talk.
You got it? You guys heard that? Okay.
Talking.
Okay. Let me rewind it. Go ahead and go on mute, guys, so we don't get any feedback, and then we'll listen to the debate. It's really exciting. Hang on to your hats.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a talk or a debate. We're going to be talking about whether or not astronomy is a part of natural science, or not. We have Quantum Eraser debating Dr. Karani. And so I guess without further ado, if you want to kind of take over, QE, I didn't really plan any kind of interruption, but.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Helio. Go ahead, Dr. Karani, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
All right. I am Dr. Michael Karani. I'm an assistant professor at Princeton University, Elmhurst, and UC. Teaching for about 6 years, and my doctorate degree is in astronomy.
Outstanding. My name is Quantum Eraser. End of introduction. The debate is concerning one of Dr. Karani's students that came into 24/7 here, I think it was 3 or 4 days ago, and said that astronomy was a natural science. So we asked that student if he could provide a hypothesis, a viable one, and identify its parts in astronomy. He couldn't do it. He said his professor could. This is what the debate is about. So, Dr. Karani, your claim is that astronomy is natural science?
It is.
And you can show that it is natural science?
Yes, I can.
Would we like to define natural science first before we embark on this journey?
I would.
Go ahead.
Natural science is a branch of science that is in general correlation of the world that exists around us. And this is not limited to our planet or ecosystem, but it is of the entire universe.
Do you have a citation for that, Dr. Karani?
I do not.
Yep. That's a problem. I have natural science. I'll get it from Wikipedia and Oxford Dictionary's Wikipedia. Natural science is a branch of science concerned with the description, prediction, and understanding of natural phenomena based on empirical evidence from observation and experimentation. That's Wiki. Here's Oxford. Natural science, the intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experimentation. Any problems with those two definitions? I can put those in live stream for you. Wait one.
I have no problems, but I do have a separate definition with a citation.
Go ahead.
This is from the Oxford Languages, according to Google. Natural science is a branch of science that deals with the physical world, for example, physics, chemistry, geology, or biology, or the branch knowledge that deals with the study of the physical world.
Yes, we have a problem with that because it does not go into what constitutes natural science. What makes natural science different from everything else? And that is experimentation. My next question to you is, can you have natural science? Can natural science be conducted without experiment?
No science is a science without proper experimentation.
So we need experimentation for it to be natural science. To have an experiment, you must have a hypothesis, correct?
Correct.
And that hypothesis has to be viable. So this is going to be pretty easy. Can you post one single viable scientific hypothesis in the entire history of not only astronomy, I'm going to branch it out for you with the sisters, astronomy, cosmology, and astrophysics, any of the three, one single viable scientific hypothesis in their entire history and identify its parts? And we'll need citation. We won't need citation with that. If you could just come up with the hypothesis, we'll be good. Identify the parts and we're good to go. That's all, folks. End of debate.
Is that where we
Really?
ran?
Yep, that was it.
You can see why his internet cut out, can't you?
I like the part where he said, I am Quantum Eraser. End of introduction.
I don't think
Yeah, I think he saw.
I don't think
I
anything
think he
more
saw his-
needed to be said, right? I mean,
Yeah,
the
I think
rest.
he saw his
Go ahead, Flatsoid.
Sorry. I think I see he saw his folly straight away, so he couldn't rebut, so he decided to take the chance and leave.
I didn't want to implicate him with anything like that. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because we know Discord acts up, right? And he is a new person on Discord, so we could speculate, and I'm sure people do, but that's okay. However, I was more interested into rescheduling it, and like I said, that's what's telling me right there. Since I haven't heard a peep from anyone since that moment, at that time I said, yeah, okay, it could be legitimate, but since I haven't heard a peep, then I'm leaning towards your direction. But that's all we got. Like I said, it's speculation. I don't know for sure. I can't prove that. So there you have it.
How many days ago?
It was Friday evening.
Yeah, he would have by now contacted you at least to say, listen, I had problems.
2 or 3 lines.
Or the student.
One way.
Or the student should have. They got to be rescheduled.
That's Richard Dawkins. Yeah, he hasn't. I haven't heard a peep from him.
For 4 days in America, the internet's down. For you to type what? 3 sentences, 3 lines to summarise. If I had that, I'd have been very keen, wouldn't you? I'd have even maybe rang me mate and said, put this in Discord for me. Just go slap that QE. That will shut him up. Be big. Which university was it, John?
He said he taught at Princeton and UC. I think he said, was it UC? I'm assuming University of California. I don't know that. Just from what he said.
So we could probably Google to see if they've had internet shortages over there. Over this period of time.
Well, he shouldn't have been shocked at the question because I'm sure his student told him, beforehand. It was pretty simple. This was going to be a quick debate, right? There wasn't going to be, any diverting away. It was a simple question. And it should have been simply answered. And it's still out there. Now, if he was trying to get inside information on what the question was, well, that's fine. I'll give you 70,000 years to come up with an answer to that because you're not going to do it. It's fine. Come back anytime.
Yeah, I still would have liked him to hear him try.
Well, and he's not your typical skank and foul boltard. So I would anticipate a little stonewalling, probably getting down into the minutia on what a hypothesis is, and then you know where I'm going. When it is an independent variable, dependent variable, there's just no way any direction that they go, not just him, any direction that you guys already know this, it's gonna get frigging nail spike Louisville slugger type of treatment, whichever door he opens.
I'd like to give him a bit of credit, actually. He's clearly an intelligent man because the way you led him was straightforward enough. And paced enough for you to go and assemble your hypothesis, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I think that's the reality. And he's not in the trenches. He's a genuine academic. And from my understanding is know when you beat and run off. I mean, it was a little cowardly the way he did it, but I think I'd give him credit for his intelligence that you don't stick around. Certainly as an academic, what you don't do is do what the trenches do, which is that shit. Make stuff up. Yeah, you're better off either admitting defeat or, in this case, claiming an internet outage. Yeah, but I think at that level, which is used to, what you don't do is do what the trenches do, which is just, contradict.
Yeah.
So I think he did the thing that demonstrates he's fairly intelligent because he knew he was cornered and absolutely had lost the debate at that point already.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I said shows he's not an ordinary globe troll. He took it and he left with his tail between his legs.
I still want to give him the benefit of the doubt. It's a fleeting amount of substance that wants to still give him that something, like I said, but the amount of days that have gone by, at least say, hey, I'm thinking about this time, or, maybe in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever, but say something. Nothing. Got zero.
Hey, you've got the rebuttal there in Superchat.
Or maybe he's looking frantically for something.
Betty.
Yeah, the super chat says, Tony Whitcomb says, how can we have internet shortages when Nixon called the moon with a landline phone?
That's true. I remember seeing that live and not questioning it, but I was a youngster at that point, so.
Yeah, well, because we have long wires.
I was 6, so that's my excuse. I should have busted him then.
You feel the need to make excuses, John. Which we all do, don't we? You know what I mean? I can't believe I was mugged off.
Yeah.
6, I'd forgive you, mate, I think.
Did I see Nathan in the chat? Nathan, sir.
I wasn't even born yet.
Nathan, hold on 1 second. Nathan, sir. No BALLBUSTERS this Saturday. I got family flying in and big shadoo, so no BALLBUSTERS this Saturday. The next BALLBUSTERS will be spectrochocoloscopy. Because I'm hearing it shows up every 3 to 6 months until I mule kick it, and then about between 3 and 6 months later, I start hearing inklings about their spectrochocoloscopy. So we're gonna drop anchor there for a while, have some fun. Stay tuned.
He says, okay. So it's okay. We got a guy in here that wants to he has a question about the ISS.
Go ahead.
For you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, for you.
He wants to question me about the ISS?
Yeah, it's Force the Line Frank.
Force the Line Frank. Go ahead, Frank.
I've unmuted him.
Hey, Kiwi, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, sir?
Hey, so last time we talked about the ISS, the first point you brought up against its existence, by the way, I'm not a flat earther or a globe, I'm generally just seeking.
Okay.
But you brought up the fact that aluminum cannot maintain its shape in the thermosphere because it would be, the melting point is lower than the heat that's expected up there.
You're gonna get me in a lot of trouble. I thought I passed that without Nathan getting on me because I'm begging the question fallacy with that, but go on.
So I was looking into it a little bit, and the counter argument to that I received from some people was that there's lower transmission of heat to the ISS because there's fewer molecules at that height.
Yeah,
so
that's the problem.
It will maintain its shape.
All right, stop. That's the problem.
Yep.
Because I'm not talking about heat through convection, right? You have to know the 3 types of heat transfer. The reason why the thermosphere is so hot is because of solar radiation hitting those very few molecules up there. I'm not talking about the ISS. It's not up there anyway. Listen, Nathan, before you have a heart attack, this is begging the question fallacy on nuclear steroids because it can't be in a second law of thermodynamics violation. right? That's the main argument. I usually don't go down the rabbit trail of, trying to figure out the metabolic pathways in Narnia. But I did this because, like I said, it's one of those few arguments concerning the vacuum of space that I will entertain because it's a lot of fun. Now, sorry for the digression, but back to the point. I'm not talking about the ISS heating up because of convection. That ain't going to happen because there's too few molecules up there, according to their story. But those few molecules that are up there are heated by solar radiation. That's how they get up to those temperatures, right? Now, you put the ISS in there, guess what's going to happen when the sun hits that metal? Follow?
Yep.
That's my point. So it's the three types of energy transfer, and I'm not talking about convection here. I'm talking purely about the sun hitting it and conduction. It would melt. Yep.
Conduction from the radiance to the shell of the ISS or the arrays or whatever's up there.
Yeah, the conduction through the ISS because I think it's aluminum T22. I can't recall exactly what it is. And I think its melting point is somewhere in the vicinity of 1,000 to 1,100 degrees when the thermosphere can reach temperatures of 4,000, 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit. See the problem?
Cool. Yeah, thanks, Kiwi.
Yep.
Can I add one other thing to that, Kiwi?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is a vacuum. And a vacuum is a very good insulator. So the only other way to get rid of the heat is to radiate it back out. But why do we use vacuum thermoses? Because it can contain the heat better. It's less likely to irradiate out. I mean, it actually radiates more slowly, but the heat will dissipate more slowly. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it would radiate, right, for about 2 minutes before it melted into a hunk of nothingness.
So
Right.
when I bring that up, they say that there are fins on the ISS that radiate out.
Radiate out. Well, there's fins. What are the fins made of?
I think they're made of copper.
That ain't gonna work. Let's go look up copper's melting point.
So if they had these radiated fins, that would increase the rate of capture of heat as also.
Yeah,
That's what I asked
The
too.
issue, there's nothing to pass the heat to.
right.
And also,
Yeah.
it's in sunlight. It's constantly being bombarded by more. So the only way you would even begin to radiate it off is have to be on the dark side of the Earth. That's the only way. It's constantly being hit constantly, right?
That's exactly what I asked, because fins down here for like a CPU, you need fins to radiate into the air. Even if you're using a water cooling system, it eventually ends up radiating into the air. So it did seem a little funky to me, but they said, well, you haven't done the calculations on the heat transfer.
You got another
That's a
big.
good
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
Go
Go ahead.
The computer fan is using a much denser, i.e., much more absorbent of heat energy in the liquid to take it away initially. But as you say, it's then got to that liquid then needs to dump it somewhere, and the air is still the eventual point. The trouble with the ISS is they've got no place to dump it. They've got no air. There isn't a place to dump it. You can't just take one collision of the already superheated particle, which is hotter than the ISS, as stated. It's not going to absorb anything. If anything, the few collisions they're going to get up there in this Narnia is only going to heat them even further. So that's the issue for me. It's a non-acceptance of the systems that their model dictates are up there.
You got another thing that's pretty funny about this is how is the ISS powered?
Sure, Kiwi, don't go there. Don't go there, please. Don't go there.
I think it's a generator in Nevada.
Yeah, it's according to the picture on the the external active thermal control system. It's it's solar panels. That's what they claim.
Oh, really? Solar arrays. What are those solar arrays made of on the ISS?
Yeah, you brought that up last time. Aluminum, probably. I think we ended up going with.
Now, purified silicon. Let's see from NASA.gov. The ISS is powered by solar arrays. Hold on a second. The solar arrays that convert energy to electricity on the International Space Station are made of thousands of solar cells made from purified chunks of the element silicon. These cells directly convert light to electricity using a process called photovoltaics. Okay, then the next question's what? Anyone?
Or multi-point of silicon?
Yes. Anyone know what that is, roughly?
I'm thinking lower than that.
I would guess it's lower than aluminum.
It's not. It's higher than aluminum.
Oh, is it higher?
Lower than 4,000.
No, it's not that high. The silicon's melting point is 2577 degrees Fahrenheit.
So lower than the 4,000 that you can attain.
Yeah.
That the molecules have attributed.
Yeah, so any shielding or reflectors is horsepucky bollocks. You don't shield solar arrays. I have something.
What would you shield them with?
I have something right beneath that. It says, "Kaboom, clowns." Have a nice day.
You'll shield it with tinfoil, Adam.
What's the melting point of that tinfoil?
Oh, that's another point. Before you get going, that's another point before I forget. I've been hearing some ridiculous comments underneath the Numpty Baltar Clips videos. Listen, guys, I'm having a lot of problems with my messages posting. This has been going on for about 2.5 years, and it's getting worse. So I think from here on out, I'm not going to waste my time anymore because it says it posts, then I go back later, and then it's gone. And a lot of other people, I've been hearing complaints about it from other people. Listen, it's not my fault, and it's not just my channel, right? There's posts disappearing. I'm not dealing with it anymore. I'll just post it. I tried to post 2 sentences. It wouldn't do it. So if I post anything, it'll be hi or bye at best. Other than that, I'm not commenting under YouTube videos anymore. I just wanted to let everyone know. Good? Thanks.
How can that be good?
No, good, meaning everyone understand? Good? Thanks.
Yeah, well, they have to come into Discord and sort of message you.
Yes, so the people that are making the ludicrous comments underneath those videos, I had a guy, I'm not going to mention your name right now. He told me because we were discussing the reference frame thing, or he had a comment about Kosho's reference frame, and he said, well, with the guy spinning around on the merry-go-round...
Just text it to me.
What? Who interrupted me? Thank you very much. So, I had a gentleman comment that the gentleman on the merry-go-round, the merry-go-round was spinning, had a ball in his hand. He told me that according to the ball's reference frame or the gentleman reference frame, the ball's stationary. What do you want me to do with that? I mean, just outright laugh at you? I mean, you got to be hallucinating or something. If the gentleman is on the merry-go-round and the merry-go-round is turning and the ball is in the gentleman's hand, then guess what? That ball has an angular velocity. Next block of instruction, how to breathe on Thursday mornings.
I get that. Or am I? Are you meaning that because he's holding his arm out with the ball, yeah, and the fact that the merry-go-round's moving, his sensors tell him he's moving. Irrespective of staring at the ball, which is not moving in relation to him, yeah, but he's moving, and therefore, because he's a sentient human being, he's able to comprehend that if he's moving, because he can feel the forces as he holds his arm out, yeah, then the ball's also moving. But it does require you to be a sentient human being to get to that logic. You have to, you know, ignore certain steps if you want to say, oh, no, it's not moving, i.e. being sentient.
I think he was saying something like, according to the gentleman's reference frame, they think there's trillions of reference frames, or what was the term? Infinite reference frames, which is preposterous on its face. But just think about that one, folks. If I got something in my hand and I'm spinning around, then that ball's not stationary.
Oh, got you. Yeah. Well, that's the same thing as what I was saying, because you've got to be cognizant of the fact that it's moving, but not a time shot, isn't it?
It's just preposterous. And he thought that he had an intellectual point. He let out the gate with that to spin the rest of his nonsense. So I think it was either it's the Paulster or Johnny Ragadoo. Yeah, I'm naming names. Get your butts in here and say this, you know, in an audience in front of people. You can be laughed at properly. I mean, this is below preschool.
Well, I was being kind there, other than the fact it's not in, they're both in the same reference frame. The ball and the guy, you know what I mean? I'm trying to think if there is an intellectual point, but I could only think of ruling out the fact that one of the points that you're using to define the reference frame is a person. It's still moving in there because you're on a roundabout. So, oops.
Do you knock your mic over, Adam?
Yeah, well, you seeing just not frustration, but just perplexity. That's what we've got now, John. Is that's the level of argument that you get to? You've got to tolerate this nonsense first statement that then allows them to go on. That seems to be the standard route nowadays, doesn't it?
Well, like Nathan said, and I noticed it a long time ago, that usually the nonsense comes out in the first statement and they talk really fast. So what they do, they set the stage with either a non sequitur, some type of fallacy, right? And they talk real fast into the next continuing point. And then when you interrupt them to go back and say, oh, wait a second, you're starting off, you know, on the wrong foot right here, then you're being rude and you're not allowing them to talk. That's the little second grade reindeer game that they play. Right? Listen to some of these debates and listen if you're in Discord. Now, not the regular debates. They don't do. They just talk for like 10 minutes with all baseless assertions. No one's supporting anything. But you'll notice that's what happens. They'll come right out of the gate with it. In text, you can pretty much stop it, right? And then just clip that first. That's what I used to do for years and years, you know, on text debates, was I'd look at that first statement because the rub's usually in there, and then just pull that out and then destroy that, right? But that's pretty hard to do when you're talking with somebody and they're talking really fast, and they play that, oh, you're being rude, you're silencing me, you're censoring me. Yeah. Go back to friggin' preschool with these appeals, right? Anyone that can fog a mirror can see what's happening out there. If I need to tell you that, then you got problems. Over.
I agree. I think it's interesting where it's going to go. Debates now. Nathan's took his stand, and I think quite rightly so. We've all, as flat earthers, had enough of dealing with that. We're more than happy to have a honest debate over something if there's something to be discussed. But like we do amongst ourselves, no one's solved anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
But this kind of distraction technique and what we're seeing now, which is a complete reversal of the stance they've took, a non-admittance of that. Obviously, it's entertaining and fun, and it's not what I want to engage with. You know what I mean?
Yes, Adam.
Nothing wrong
People
with
are,
in your beats.
I agree with you. People are looking for the drama. Who was that talk show host back in the day? The drama one. There'd be fights on the show.
Jerry Springer.
Jerry. Yeah, they want the Jerry Springer stuff. I can't stand it. Right? I like to hear what people have to say. Just let them get it out. You know, unless they're screwing up at first. Like I said, if you come out with a begging a question fallacy right out of the gate, don't be insulted. But I know that's what you're doing purposely. Don't be insulted by somebody stopping you and say, hey, wait, can you solidify that foundation statement for us? So we're not, chasing begging the question fallacies or other fallacies, 5 or 6 different branches of streams in the next 10 minutes when you stop, right? Don't be ridiculous. So, but most educated people, like I said, I was talking to somebody about, debating people. I like debating the academics because I really don't have to be all that concerned with the skank and foul, nonsense. Because usually, even though that the academics are a bit twisted, you're not going to have to put up with nonsensical buffoonery for the most part. The little sideshow distractions. Because if you ask them direct questions, they're most likely going to give you direct answers. Now, I'm not saying they're pristine. Right? I'm not saying that, but there's a huge difference. I find it much, much easier to debate educated people. Not your skank and file stuff.
Well, if you don't have to argue over the definitions of and or, it helps, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes. Now, like I said, the definition of terms is important with communication. Now, you don't have to go all friggin' lunatic on me. I'm not going to sit there and start, defining and or is or common words. However, when you start talking, if you like bring up theory or experiment, then I'm going to stop you and we're going to figure out what these terms are so we're not talking past each other. It might be pedantic or sound pedantic. It's not. That's the Socratic method, right? So not only you and the speaker are on the same sheet of music, everyone in the audience knows what you're talking about. And they could say, oh, because I thought that was something else. Okay, now I understand. Follow? This is just common sense, right?
But it has a kind of gravity to it, that statement you just made, yeah.
Yep. Now, like I said, it might sound pedantic and or what they do is they call it semantics, which, okay, what's your point? That's the Socratic method. So, semantics is not going to get you out of it, right? It's not an argument. It's a bagak semantics or bagak refraction, bagak gravity, right? That's all you got. Bagak cherry picking. You don't even know what that is. Ballers don't know what these terms are, so that's why we do it, so we can embarrass you, right? Because you deserve it for pretender clowning. Got it?
Well, it would help if they actually know the argument, if they want to argue the argument.
That's a good point. I've been listening to a lot of back and forth. Thanks for bringing that up. A lot of back and forth in a few debates that have gone down over the past, I would say, couple weeks. Please, for the love of God, would you ask the person to plainly state their claim? Because you got people arguing. I don't even know what the claim is. I'm sitting there for 20 minutes. I think it was Sunday, listening to a debate. I didn't even know what the claim was. I don't think they knew what it was either. They were just arguing. So please, for everything sacred and holy, if you're talking with somebody, just iron out. It's good to iron it out, maybe say it a couple times. So everyone that's listening also says, oh, that's what the claim is. And that gets everyone back on the same sheet of music and discussing the topic. You know how these things, devolve, right? You're talking about gravity, and the next thing you know, you're talking about amoebas in springtime. Well, how did we get there? Let's get back to the topic and stick with it.
So true.
Yep. Yep. It happens all the time, man. Anything else? You guys are real quiet today.
Well, you're talking.
Well, I feel pretty symbolic today.
I got something.
Symbolic?
Isn't that a song? You felt pretty symbolic yesterday? That's a good song right there.
Oh, don't get him in the zone.
Don't get in the zone, huh? Mr. Jones! That's what it is. I knew I was on it. Mr. Jones and me. That's right.
And you?
That's the name of the song.
Classic.
Yeah, it's a classic song. I really like it. Force the link, or force the line. Force the link. Force the line, Frank. Go ahead. You had some?
Okay. Is it okay if I ask 3 in a row, or would you rather take them one by one?
One question at a time, man.
Okay, cool. So the Earth is flat. How does one live a good life in a world where everyone thinks it's a globe and they think you're crazy and et cetera, et cetera? What advice would you give to people that how to live a good life in such a situation?
That's more out of my scope of.
I love that one.
Hold on a second. I was going to say Betty. Hold on a second.
It's easy. Get into your closet and stay there.
Go ahead, Adam.
I would say living a good life has no bearing. Yeah, realizing the nature of reality, that it's flat, might help you and inspire you to live a better life. But actually, if you want to live a good life, it doesn't really matter what shape it is, does it?
Ditto.
Yeah.
Nice. Totally back onto topic is what would you say explains the 24-hour sun in Antarctica? There's video of it that was posted to me.
I'd have to see it. I've seen many through the years. The first thing I would say is be careful when you're asking those types of questions, because I have never made any claim about any 24-hour sun. So you're asking me to explain something I haven't made claims for? This might sound like a get out of jail free card, but it's not. Right? If I didn't make claims for anything, don't challenge me. I don't go up to complete strangers, at the gas station and ask them to explain things they haven't made claims for, because I don't want to get my butt kicked. But maybe some other people entertain that. If I could just say that the 24-hour sun videos from 2015 from Antarctica, they were all shown to be frauds. I mean, it's self-evident that they're clipped. So I would be careful with that sort of stuff. Go ahead. Anyone else? Hold on a second. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd add to that. I think, it's their claim. So if this is an extraordinary claim, it's not something that's known, not something that's been demonstrated. It's something that's dubiously demonstrated with obvious fakery in the bits I've seen. So if somebody wants to bring that claim, then I would suggest it's up to them to demonstrate it. And as far as I'm aware, up until 2021, that's not reached any credible standards by anybody's means.
Cool. And
hold on, you might have somebody else that might. Anyone else want to add to anything to his question? Skeptical, you're off mute. Okay, it doesn't sound like anyone wants to add anything. Go ahead, shoot. You got a third question?
Oh boy. Sorry.
That's okay.
Just trying to find that.
Yeah, take your time.
Video. So what about stars being observed at the same level as the sun at sunset? Shouldn't they be occulted just like the sun?
I'm unfamiliar with that claim. Adam?
In which model is the first thing? No. All I'd say is,
Flat.
should they? Because they aren't. But why would you say should they?
Should they? They should be occluded because my model says so. No, they're not. If you're saying you can see whatever, well, that's what you can see. And if that contradicts whatever model you've got, then your model's unfortunately, is it, Feynman? If your model contradicts reality, so that's on you and your model, not on.
So just to understand your position better, Adam, the starlight that's at the same level as the sun is a special case. Like the sun can be occluded, but for some reason the stars aren't occluded. So it's like a special case in that instance?
No,
and I mean
I'm
should by
saying-
the sense that the atmosphere and the apparent horizon
Whoa, stop.
Yeah, I used the wrong term. Sorry.
Okay,
Kiwi.
keep going.
Wrong term. Sorry,
I let
right
I let one go, Adam. It was atmosphere, right? And I had to hold everything back, and then he said apparent horizon. I was done for. But go ahead.
I meant the disappearing point. I meant the disappearing point.
Go ahead, Adam.
The point is, have you got this image? If you've got this image, right, and it's there, and it's real, and it's observed, yeah, then whatever model you've got that contradicts that and says you can't see that, what do you think of that model?
Bollocks.
So, job done then, isn't it? It is. And I don't have a model. Ballers have models. And they'd love to hold me to a model, as these past few weeks have shown, but I don't have a model. I do have observable reality. And if you show me something that at that point stars are observable, then that's reality and I observe it, then I'm happy with that. How I justify that in my mind, I don't know, but that's kind of not relevant.
Yeah, it's all just got to do with your perception.
Hey, before we get too far, shout out to James Richard. Where would flat Earth be without the historic Kiwi? Thanks a lot, James. Appreciate that, sir. I think Data. Are you in here with another name?
That's me, brother. That's me. Just change it to landform.
Your mic is a train wreck, man.
You better now?
No.
Austin gets it. I have got a bit to add to that, John.
Yeah, 1 second, Adam. Go ahead. Give me. I'll give you one more try. Data.
I'm just gonna plug in a new headset. Give me a second.
All right. Go ahead, Adam. Go ahead and finish up, sir.
My understanding, if you want to theorize, and I think Paul Salam was theorizing on behalf of the ball, it would seem, once again, that in these circumstances, with regards to perspective and light and intensity of it, there would be possibly circumstances on a flat plane at that disappearance point where particular stars may be able to break through a little bit and be seen at one point. But I struggle to see how you could theorize that when that horizon is geometric and solid lump of the ball Earth. So I don't see how you could put it in their model. That's not to say, for me, it validates anything other than, again, destroying the ball model, but it doesn't validate anything on the flat model. Just something that you go, wow, look, actually, that's beautiful.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day.
How's my mic now, Kiwi?
Oh, it's good now. Go ahead. Hold on first the line. I think Data, be concise. You wanted to...
Yeah, so just regarding your 24-hour sun, I've been researching this for a while now. And one thing I find really interesting is the Antarctica location has some of the most advanced technology that the world has ever seen, right? They have to live in extreme conditions. They have to travel and navigate in extreme conditions, plus do scientific experiments there. So from what I understand, out of all that technology that they have there, they have very, very poor quality video of a 24-hour sun. So I find that highly suspicious in itself that they would have all that sophistication, all that technology, and there's not more content regarding that particular subject. So something to look into further.
I just posted a video of high quality.
Okay,
with,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on it. I forgot one thing that happened back in the day when I was on Robert Pisano's show. There was a gentleman named Robert Shortman, right, that came on there. I can't remember whether it was live or whether we were just talking amongst ourselves. He spent 18 months, if I'm not mistaken, in Antarctica, and I come straight out and asked him, right? I said, 24 hours, son? He said, no. Now, I'm taking his word for it. I'm just telling you what he said to me, and he was certifiably there.
Is the guy that back before the flat Earth debates, when Nathan first started his channel, he did interviews, and there was the guy that worked down there. I think he was an electrician or plumber or something, and he never described it, and he was there throughout the Antarctic summer, as it would be described. So, yeah, like I say, it's for them to make the claim, John. There's the stuff we've looked into it. People have denied it. That doesn't prove a flat Earth to me. But if they're making the claim, then it's for them to demonstrate. For me, not for me to have to disprove.
Right, exactly. If they're making the positive claim, then go ahead and do it. You'd figure it'd be easy. And holy shnikes, Tony Wickham. Wow, sir. Wow. My wife is gonna fall over. Wow. Okay. My word.
That's even more. That's in real money as well, John. That, you know.
Well, you have to give the text too, right?
Go ahead, Betty.
Betty, I hear you. QE is ace.
Oh. Thanks, Tony. Thanks. That sounds pretty pathetic, doesn't it? Thanks. Wow.
Got another one from Nitro. Mikal, and he says, "Keep up the great work, QE. Most entertaining thing ever."
Well, thank you. I'm quite not the entertainer. It looks like I'm turning into one with the numpty clips. But that, like I said, those things have a little deeper meaning if you scratch the surface. I know I keep saying this, and I hope it gets through to people. And somebody just asked a question: what would be the best flat Earth proof, like for newcomers just coming in? I would say between the 1 month and 6 month time frame. Maybe not right at the beginning, but I would say the numpty clips. Now, on the surface, they seem to be like just putting, the thumb in the eye of the baltards, but they're not. I'm trying to make them the star, like the crown jewel of the channel, because what they do twofold, and there's probably many more reasons, but the two big ones are, it shows you where the arguments are at, the current arguments that the baltards have, and most importantly, it shows you how to systematically deconstruct them. So don't just take it as entertainment. I'm not an entertainer. I'm an educator from way back, right? So don't just take them. Yeah, I take a few liberties and maybe little latitude with artistic license, but I do that for a reason. Most of the subjects that we talk about are pretty dry. All right. So there's an opportunity in there, like hanging curveballs that I take with it. But these numpty clips are a lot more than just the thumb in the eye is what I'm trying to say. So I hope you guys see that. Thanks.
I believe I'm the one who asked that question. So I have a lot of friends who are a little bit younger than me that I'm just, coming out of the FE closet with and introducing them to this stuff, who were previously a part of my gaming circle. So that's definitely good advice. Thank you, QE. Do you have any favorites of numpty clips?
There's only 20 out so far, soon to be about 150, but that's going to take some time. I have my certain favorites, but I'm not going to say anything of the 20. There's a lot of my favorites that still have yet to come out, so stay tuned. As for your question, that they, with younger people and junior, that's not my target audience. It's never been my target audience. I've never felt comfortable in that audience. But what I like to say is keep it simple. And the reason why I gave you the website, yes, it does have the black swan on it. Even though I think it's a pretty basic argument, you still have to have a little knowledge of geometry, not too extensive. However, I would stick to the things that they're familiar with, and that would be flight. Most people have taken flights before, right? And what I think is probably the best one is the vacuum of space. That may sound technical, but it's not. The gas pressure without a container is a killer argument, and most people get it really quick. That's why I gave you, because both of those arguments are on the website. Stay away from the Coriolis effect. I wouldn't go down that road. But the vacuum of space and the flights, I would concentrate on if I were you. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kiwi. I also know it's not your audience, but those are like, I'm pretty young myself, so like those are the people I'm kind of around. But
sure.
The advice really helps. So thank you so much for answering my question. Have a nice day.
Yep.
Sai or CI, is it?
Yeah.
I ask you, well, I'm 40 something, 40 lovely. What age group are you talking about when you describe there? Because I don't know if that's teens, 20s, 30s. What are you discussing there in terms of the people that you're, in a knowledge onto?
Like teens, like around like 14 to like 21.
Okay.
Like Gen Z.
Oh, respect, bro. You know what I mean? Keep it up. As QE says, I think keep it simple. I think at that age, it's sufficient to put that question. How do you have gas pressure without a container in their mind? If you can put that there, young brains will work on that and chew on that. What gets them into trouble at school, There's contradiction. So keep it simple, and I think that's the best success. Like I say, stay away from the nonsense of stuff where it can get over convoluted, like Coriolis. Simple stuff. As you keep that balloon pressure in there without the balloon. Yes.
Precisely. Yep. Good questions, though. Kind of wasn't ready for the questions like that, but yeah, really good questions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I say respect, bro, for doing that with youngsters and being prepared to, because I can imagine it's a lot more ad hom environment when you bring that up. With
listen, I used to talk about. Remember, I used to always, give the story of my best friend growing up. Yeah, he was 4 years older than I was. I just hung out with an older crowd, and really quick, really intelligent guy, right? I've asked this question to him ever since the first day, right? I think I called him and said, "Hey, Jim, how do you have gas pressure without a container?" I haven't got an straight answer from him, which is really strange. And I seen him a few months ago, again, personally. I mean, I went up and visited home and seen him again, and I asked him that same question. He just gave me the deer in the headlights look again. Like I said, "Jim, don't worry about it, man. You don't need to answer it. Thanks."
Isn't that the one that twisted you, John?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, sure.
See, that one got me. Mine was curvature maths. I dived in at that, but as a chemist, and certainly with my formulation knowledge, gas pressures and how you have to. It's the one that now I would always fall back on. It's the one that relates to reality, and whether that reality is down here on the ground or up there at that blue bit, it's the same reality. It's the most powerful one for me.
Yes, I agree.
Black Swan included, you know what I mean? Still, it's the most powerful because It's demonstrable. Black swan is still optical. This certainly, like say, as a chemist, it takes all your knowledge and slaps you around the face with it. If you get my point.
Yeah, it not only has a dramatic effect, especially on the educated. Because I was talking to, this was a few years ago. I was on another topic, some Newtonian nonsense, and I wanted to get an answer to the question. I can't even remember what the question was. And I called up Mizzou. It's right up the street. It's not right up the street from me, but you know the deal. So I called them up. It was August. I didn't even think of the month, beginning of August. Everyone was gone at the university. And I called the physics department. And I talked to the secretary for a second. I said, listen, I got a question I want to ask one of your professors. And she's there. We're on summer break. And I said, oh, goodness gracious, I should have known better. But she goes, well, I've got one professor here. Hold on. And it was the graduate professor in quantum mechanics. Right? So I completely lost my question. We went on talking for the next 2 hours. In fact, at the first couple minutes, he goes, listen, I don't have a lot of time. I got a meeting to go to. 2 hours later, right? Because we can speak quantum mechanics, right? We had a lot of the same interest, talked about a lot of experiments, a lot of scientists that he knew personally, right, that I thought were outstanding. So we went on for about 2 hours. And in the end, just before he had to leave and his meeting was over, I know it was, but he didn't mind. In fact, he wanted all my resources. So I sent him all my resources. He was astonished that I had all of them. He goes, where do you go to school at? Right, and I was snickering to myself. But I gave him all the resources. But in the end, my final question was, because during the discussion, he had talked about his expertise in thermodynamics. Right? And I, quickly, made a mental note of that and said, I got to get back to that. But we are into quantum mechanics. But in the end, I said, I got a question for you, sir, just to leave you with. How do you have gas pressure without a container? And all I got was what I got on debate the other day. Pure silence. I mean, it was long, elongated, like 20 seconds. And he said, I'm going to have to get back with you. Right? He wasn't trying to get out of the question. I mean, he was a really legitimate, honest guy. And
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It takes all your knowledge that you have about everything in reality, and it slaps you round the head. And no matter what you try and do, can't excuse it. You try gravity, you can't excuse it. You try ionospheres of ionized gas you can't excuse it. There's just nothing that if you are, I'm not being pompous here, educated as you've been through, you've done your thermodynamics lectures, you've passed it, you know what I mean? You've done all of all of the gas related stuff. There's nothing in there that tells you to support the premise that it goes up there and stops. It does slap you around the head.
We also got into another topic, and I think it was one of the things I let out with him. And it was just a comment I made about amateur night out here on thread. No, I didn't say I was a flat earther or anything. We didn't get that far. But I was talking about, I think, mostly the evolution, just the science genre in general. And I told him, I said, don't you find it crazy that people don't even know that you have to have experiment and to follow the scientific method? He agreed with me so fast I couldn't even finish my statement. That he was all over that. He said he started snickering like in disgust on more or less amateur night. So I just wanted to leave you with that. It was a conversation that I should have got back with him. I never called him back after that, even though we talked for so long. I just got busy and, life just happens. But I might give him a ring one of these days just to say hello and just to see where he's at. But I thought I'd share that with you.
What did he say to gas pressure without a container?
He didn't. It was one of the last questions, like I said. Say again?
Did his internet drop?
No, his internet didn't drop. I was talking to him on the phone. And like I said, he was really forthright, real honest guy. Knew a lot of, obviously, he's teaching graduate level physics or quantum mechanics. Sorry about that. Obviously, he's a pretty sharp guy, but down to earth, a lot of common sense. I was pretty shocked, at the common sense part, because usually you get those PhDs, they're just out there, right? They can't even tie their shoes. He was the exception. I could tell that right away. That's why we got along so well. We went on to a lot of different topics in quantum mechanics.
Nathan's point, did he say, "I'll get back to you"?
Yes, but he didn't know my
the internet drop. And point we were making with Flatzoid. That's an intellectually honest person. He's not going to descend into the trenches.
Yes.
That's a concedence of, I have not, you beat me. Yeah. I'll get back to you is, yeah, you won. In academics, isn't it? I'll get back to you on that. Yeah. Isn't that what Jen Penske now says? Not so attractive press secretary for the White House compared to the previous one. That's what she says, isn't it? As in, I really can't say anything. You've got me all ends up. I'll get back to you on that. To me, that's a polite way of saying.
Right. And he wasn't. No, he was actually going to get back with me. But the important part was the silence. I made a mental note of the silence because, like you said, it stops you and starts to slap you around.
Yeah. I'm not meaning when he said to you, "I'll get back to you," he didn't mean I will genuinely get back to him. It's just obvious, as his thought process goes, it's just obviously eluded my mind as to why I can't back this nonsensical shit of a vacuum next to pressurized system with no containment. It's just eluded my mind. I'll get back to you. And I'm not saying genuinely he didn't think, "I'll get back to you." There is a reason. I must know it. Of course I know it. Yeah?
Right.
Because that's what I believe.
Right.
At that point, he's saying that. But has he got back to you at that point?
No, he hasn't, because, to be honest, I was the one who called him. He didn't have my contact information, even though he does have my email, because I sent all those sources by email personally. So I still have that. You know what? I'm going to have to go back and look and catch his name. And that, like I said, that was a few years ago. I hope he's still up there. Listen, he's a graduate professor in quantum mechanics. I'm sure he got a little bit busy.
Yeah, must be that. But I'll stand by the fact that I get back to you is a polite way of saying, "Yeah, I lost that one," or "I really don't want to go down this route because I don't know where it's going."
It could have possibly been, but I didn't get that impression from him. Like I said, Adam, the silence was the one that got me, and I knew it. Right then. Yeah, that was good enough.
You know, right, that these people have a lot invested in their jobs and their stations they're at. So I don't think that he could get back to you, because then the jig is up. Right?
Yeah, but there was no further. I wasn't leading him anywhere. It was I just wanted to ask that question. Say again?
Even though that happens, I mean, I think that he might be awakened, right? But I still think that he went along with the lie, sort of, in the sense of keeping his job and not getting into this very, very more deeper.
Oh,
we got the same. That guy, Lieu, right? What was his name?
Oh, Professor Lieu from MIT. Yeah, he likes to delete my comments.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that he was onto this, right? You couldn't ask this, because I asked him in sort of flat earth sort of terms, right? Like, how can you have gas pressure without a container? And he said, and he immediately came up with flat earth himself, right?
Yes.
So he knew that this was an argument for flat earth.
Well, Betty, to be perfectly honest with you, Betty was helping me out because Walter Lieu is Dutch. So I told Betty I was talking to him because he would actually comment on his threads back in the day underneath his video. So I asked him some legitimate questions. I wasn't nasty at all. I asked him legitimate questions, and he more or less banned me, right? So I told Betty. So Betty went in on the same thread, correct, Betty? Do I got that right?
I asked these sort of like innocent, girly, stupid questions in a non-aggressive manner, and he sort of gave a lot of answers which were the sort of politically addressed answers, I think, right? And then when he got sort of a whiff of that it might be related to flat Earth, even though I didn't even mention it or I sort of literally said it,
right?
He immediately got onto that and said, "I'm not responding to people, going on about flat Earth and all kinds of stuff, and
Yes.
I don't answer."
Yep, that's the way it ended. Because I thought.
Betty,
go ahead, Adam.
Just a quick question, Betty. Right, reverse the roles with QE and this quantum mechanics professor. Right, reverse the roles and imagine QE was left with having to say, "I'll get back to you on that," and all he was left with was a huge database of knowledge and an email. Do you think it'd take him more than a day and a half to come back with the thing that left him saying, "I'll get back to you on that"? Go no.
Yeah, but QE is not employed.
There's a thing called academic pride, and I'm sorry, but if I was arguing with someone, I'd either admit defeat or run away or come back with a very good rebuttal.
Adam, look at the world today. We have a lot of these sort of so-called people saying that COVID is a thing, and we all sort of get sidetracked by models that don't say anything or don't sort of, you can't sort of falsify these models of them. They never come true, right? So we're living in a pseudoscience world already. But these people get paid by big money, big tech, big companies. And now we're in this world where that's what science is, apparently. Even my parents say, well, science is something that is progressive, in a sense of they will get it right the next time. Which makes me laugh, by the way.
What in the world?
Yeah. It's sort of a thing with people that they say, okay, yeah, science is a progressive thing. They will get it, they will sort of get better each time. I said, Mom, if it's the truth, it's the truth. Then you know what you know. Then it's science, right?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with regression in science, but the way they paint it is as if you can restate something and that contradicts a previous scientific statement. The progression in science is a greater understanding, more detail. So, yeah, do you know what I mean? It's not about changing what you've just discovered because you've got a new discovery that undermines it. Then it was never science in the first place. It wasn't a scientific discovery. But that doesn't preclude progression, but progression doesn't undermine, it adds detail, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, that's not how they perceive it. They see it as something that's still ongoing, right? For now, we sort of say, well, the Earth is flat, and then the next day it's round, right? And then it's still true. Both times was true. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not taking that.
Yeah, I shouldn't have been surprised with your parents, especially with the older generation with science. That shouldn't have surprised you, right? You're well versed in the people having no clue, right?
Yeah, but they don't want to listen too. You know, they have these sort of like vacuum in between their ears because you want to ask, you want to sort of explain how it is, but they sort of are deaf, mute, and dumb.
Well, what did I call that generation?
Rockhead.
The Rockhead generation. And that goes back to my buddies again. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah. I find the Bible works with that generation. My mum and dad, well, particularly my dad, yeah, are particularly interested if you use scripture. That impacts on him greatly and has made great strides. He's come to me and said, I was reading this, and yeah, shit, how the hell do you figure that into a bowl? So there's ways and means, isn't there, that we've all, so I was talking about, I don't envisage he's using scripture to get through to the guys in Discord, the gamers. I think of that generation, there is, and they still hold that generation, it holds scripture a lot more solid truth. And when I point that out to my dad, that's where he has come back to me, said, what, you know what I mean? So there is ways of knocking it through to him, but I think science isn't not the way.
Let me interrupt you for a second, Adam. Hey, Nick, Trunk Q Bear. Sorry, I missed you, man. I was doing something else.
Yeah, shout them out. You got 2 of them, right?
Yeah, and Unitox family. Hey, Sasha, thanks. You deserve all of it. Thanks, appreciate that. And Nick, is that you say Trunk Q Bear? Yeah. QE big fan. Made by Jim Bob. Turned me on to you, and I'm hooked. Who's Jim Bob? Thanks. Appreciate it, Nick. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt the discussion. I wanted to get that before we, bypassed it.
No, I wouldn't like getting all fundy on you there, because, for me, like I said, different generations, the internet is a great source of validity to the young. I would suggest the Bible still holds true with older generations, certainly here or whatever, and that was most impactful when I was trying to justify to my mum and dad, certainly early on, what the hell I'm on about. What do you mean it's not a ball? You know what I mean? So, but I wouldn't have taken them to the science because they don't understand it, if I'm being honest.
Sure.
And that's not being disrespectful, but to try, I'd have to teach them science to, do you know what I mean? But something they hold dear, which is scripture, that's easy to point out contradictions in what they hold dear to what is being described to them as reality.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was on mute. I was answering. I usually don't do that. In fact, it's the first time I think I answered one during the show, one of the chats to Nick. So yeah, sorry, Nick, I didn't catch on to that. Trunk Bear. It's the Q just substituted for the K.
Yeah, he says check out Made by Jim Bob on YouTube and IG. What is IG? I don't know.
Made by Jim Bob, turned me on to you, and I'm hooked. Oh, you're talking about another message?
Yeah, a message that he said above the one you posted.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that Jim Bob might have a YouTube channel. Oh my God! Yeah, Nathan says amateur hour.
Yeah, I think it's been people in the chat that he's going at it with. I've seen Professor Phil Bell. Can I ask, what happened to you? Something had to happen to you. You're a joke. There's just jokes in my chat. Mr. Water vapor is the gas is the dumbest thing you ever heard. What do you what? How that? Do you think you can get past that? Like just whistle past that comment and just continue on? You lose all credibility. You're a numpty. So I don't know. I don't know, sir. And you think you're like cloaked or something. You put professor in front of your name. We already did a whole show on you exposing you. You just whistle right past that? How do you do that?
That's what I was referring to earlier, John. And I think there's been a couple of times on YouTube I've made mistakes and I've come out because you are going to stand behind this academic title, whatever it actually means. It's not. It does require a level of honesty to it, and there's nothing wrong academically saying no, I was wrong, and it was basically that's correct. You should acknowledge something that's obviously false, like gas pressure without a container. Yeah, you should stuff like you should have the intellectual honesty, and again, rejection that's leveled at us, to come out and actually admit those things. And we spoke about those two guys where they ran off, and I think that's more intellectually honest than making statements like Dr. Phil, and he uses that, or Professor Phil, or whatever it is, Phil, to make statements like that with regards to the vapor pressure and gas pressure and water, and to stand by them, or what appears to be stand by, or not to just, because to me there's no embarrassment. If you've made an honest, genuine intellectual mistake and you're happy to be corrected by it, then where is the embarrassment? That is the progression of learning. There's no shame intellectually there and academically. So the only reason you would not redact that and correct yourself academically is, well, for me, it has to be an alternative agenda. And therefore, you shouldn't be presenting yourself with academic credentials. They're not relevant with an agenda. They're only relevant if you are academically and intellectually honest.
I don't know. That's psychologically above my pay grade. I can't deal with the psychotherapy side. I don't want to deal with it because there's some real problems. Right? I don't want to go down that road, but you can't recover. You're just out here. It's like you're a ghost. Hey, you're not the only one. They're just lining up. If you make the numpty clips or the toe tags, you're finished. You're finished. Good.
It's the same as the rumpus, okay? So for me, what I just stated there, I'm going to use those titles, right? Then comes it a responsibility. And that's not to flim-flam and bullshit and double speak, okay? You're going to use those titles, doctor, professor. Yeah? It's the way I've used my professional. I'm always honest with people. That may not sit nice with them. I always give my best honest opinion. And if you look at the so that to me with regards to Professor Phil is instant and obvious. Now, throughout the Flat Earth debates, we've got to the point of Nathan saying no to the rumpus because you're a liar and a deceiver and a cheat. And I say, if you're going to use those titles, you've got to be at least intellectually honest with science and the statements there. You shouldn't be contradicting them. If you do, then you should have the integrity to redact them, apologize for them, and move forward. And there's nothing wrong with that. To me, this is a demonstration of the rumpus situation where we're not using these things, and all we're demonstrating is we're a liar and we're cheating. We are dishonest. And this coming to line, guys, for me, like I said, I'm referencing Nathan with the rumpus and kind of done with them. We were on a journey of learning, and all we're doing now is teaching them, for me.
Yes, exactly. I'm not dealing with it. My word, sir. Get a grip so we can move on from you. Looks like like I said, I love these shows. You know, we just go in blind, not knowing what's going to happen. Right? To be honest with you, I said, it didn't start off, before the show too well because I got around to it late. But I love these shows now. I really do. I think we're going to do a lot more of them. Let's get final thoughts from everybody. We got about 10 minutes. I want to stop before the 2-hour mark. So, Betty, can you go down the list for us? You want to take the con?
Yeah. We got Sai at the top. Want to add something, Sai? Left already. I see you, Greenie, but I don't hear sound.
Oh, I didn't know you're talking.
You can give some afterthought on the show or something else, George.
Oh, I just want to say, it's important to keep Gen Z in mind, even if it's not the target audience, because they are the future. So, in a way, it's like important to keep them in mind.
I didn't mean it that way. When I said target audience, they're not the audience that I do well with. Yeah, I should have used better phrasing with that. That it's not the point. My audience is everyone. However, I don't feel as comfortable with the younger generation as I do with the older generation, is what I was trying to say. So is that better?
Yeah, you're fine. I was just saying, I think it's important to I think it's important to learn how to explain things simple too, because sometimes when, like, obviously you're really talented, right? You're really good at explaining things at a high level.
You hear that, Betty?
Yeah.
Oh, but sometimes people don't need the fancy explanations, and we're talking over their heads sometimes.
I make, hold up, don't rumpus me. I make it a point to try to break it down as far as I can do it within that subject's criteria, because some subjects are just, you just can't do it. But other ones, I pride myself on breaking it down as far as possible. So go on, Betty.
Well, I told you can even break it down further, right? With the black swan, you can see further than you're supposed to see with the calculation of the ball Earth that they say that's correct, right? So you break it down there. You don't have to make a whole, how do you say that? Symbolism and with P and Q and stuff out of it.
But that was a good point. You made a very good point. I find a lot of people do employ that strategy. I just think that they're bullshitting people, right?
Why?
The ones that overcomplicate things, I just, there's no need for that. And then it just raises a weathered eyebrow. So I heard what you say, G.
Yeah.
Just to pick into what I said, I don't disagree. The reason I gave you kudos earlier was in recognition that you're dealing with people, I mean, that we wouldn't feel comfortable with, and maybe couldn't, I think more importantly, wouldn't engage with properly and correctly. I mean, can you imagine QE with a load of teenagers? It's not going to be productive to me, and that's why I was giving you kudos. That
thanks, Adam.
Maybe you come in here. Oh, mate, I'd be the same. I'd say, sit down, shut up, do as you're told, young man. You know? So that's the point I'm saying. Kudos. And it's heartwarming to see that somebody like CI's here talking to us and knowing that he's going out there with the tools that we haven't got to engage with these guys, these kids, and disseminating the information. I think that's brilliant. And respect, bro.
Yep. Thanks, man. Extremistus. Oh, sorry, you had something else?
Yeah, just one final comment. I'm sorry.
No,
I
go
just
ahead.
wanted to say I'm sorry if this came off the wrong way. I really appreciate what you do. And my strategy, people my age really focus on the why would they lie aspect. So I talk about Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and the Manhattan Project, and I take it very slow, bite by bite, one or two things a day. So I found that effective. But anyway, I'm sorry. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks. Go ahead, Betty. You want to take charge? Betty.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you was on mute.
I was wondering. Well, she just decided to leave.
Yeah. Talking and talking. Oh, no, nothing came through. Felix Thomas is there, and he was the star of the show last wasn't he?
Extremist? No, this is the first time he's been on the show.
Well, he was someone sort of commented on his. I'm confused.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but Extremist, we got final thoughts here. If you want to give final thoughts, that's fine. You got the mic.
I've never been the star of any show ever.
What did he say?
He said he has never been the star of any show ever, Betty.
Oh, well, this is your chance.
Oh, no, I wouldn't want to take the shine away from anybody else.
Oh, the humility is great.
All right. Appreciate you coming. You got anything else, Extremist? You showed up for...
Nope.
Okay.
Force the line. Thanks, Extremist. Force the line, Frank. Any final thoughts? We're going to wrap it up.
Oh, I thought I was on mute. No, thanks. Thanks a lot. Appreciate the answers. And I'll talk to you another time, hopefully.
Cool, man. Thank you. Data, is your mic working?
Yeah, brother, it's all good. Appreciate the numpty clips. I look forward to them now. You got me addicted. I was a little shocked today. I'll be honest, though. I sat down ready for this debate. I had my cup of coffee, and then I was confused for the first minute. I was like, I thought they were going to debate. What the hell's going on here? And that was the end of your debate. And I was like puzzled, so I had to tune in. I had to, get more involved. What happened there with the what was it? A professor? What was his name again? That you're debating?
Karani?
Yeah. So just to have him show up and you ask him, or he's taken down the path, if you will, and then he just vanishes. That's bring it on, man. Keep doing that. That's pretty fun. It's confusing as fuck, but it's fun to listen to.
Thanks, man. I was trying to get by the whole show without an F-bomb. I appreciate that.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, I'm only messing with you, man. It's okay. Just remember that wasn't a live debate today. That I recorded that Friday.
And no reply back from him yet. Nothing. No. Oh.
Yep.
Good question.
I guess we're not going to reschedule it. If it does, listen, whenever he wants to do it, that's fine. We'll just do the same thing again. It's not going to be, I'm not going to do anything different. It's going to be the same question. So there's not going to be any surprises, no tricksies. All right, Matt. Appreciate it. Data. Sasha.
Thanks, Kiwi.
Yep. Sasha.
Hello.
Hey.
My final thought.
Yeah, I do have a question for you, but go ahead. Final thought, and then I'll ask my question for you.
Okay. For audience, mostly for young people. Go to YouTube, type the Quantum Eraser, go to video playlist, spend 1 month, because you need for sure 1 month, not less. And then after that, you say, this thing is bullshit, and go back to your mainstream TV, and that's it.
Thanks.
Or change your mind.
Thanks, Sasha. I would suggest that I would go to the science education playlist first, and then right after that, if you have problems, listen. First, I'd go to
listen, John. If you are young, you will. If you find your channel, it's easy to find all your videos. It's there,
I would.
And it's
I want to make a correction. I want to make a correction, Sasha. Relax, man. I want to make a correction. First thing you should do, if you haven't reckoned that there's a creator, I would go right to that playlist right there and get right.
I know that evolution list and that pseudoscience versus science list and that all that. I think it's 10, 11 videos, something like that.
Yep. Then after that, I would go to the science education playlist and then right to the numpty clips.
Now, after that, to BALLBUSTERS, all of them.
all of BALLBUSTERS, right? Yeah. Yeah,
all of them, and if some new person want to, that's my opinion, nothing else.
Okay.
Watch everything, decide, and say this man is bullshit, and that's it. And then you go and watch mainstream TV, and that's it.
yeah. Sasha, I got a question.
But they need to watch all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a question.
Yep.
I asked you to ask your wife a question. about the other day about polyamorous bonds. Did you do it?
Say again.
Polyamorous.
Wait, say it now.
Polyamorous bonds.
Huh? Poly what? No, I didn't hear you properly. Poly what?
But it's not going to matter. Polyamorous. Poly.
Oh, polyamorous. Okay, polyamorous what?
Bonds. Chemical bonds.
Oh, bonds. God, it's your American accent. Polyamorous bonds. What
Yes.
about them?
Yes. Have you
What
ever
about
heard them in your life?
Yes, I've heard.
Yeah?
Polyamorous and bond in science is usually an oxymoron. Does that make sense?
Thanks. Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to get to Adam with the. I haven't asked Adam yet, but I did want to ask you folks. She is a biochemist, so I knew that. So that's why I asked Sasha. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was real funny. The context was, see, M. Scott Veach, the PhD booger eating schmuck. He doesn't know where he's at, and he was talking about. I was listening to a video, and he was talking about covalent bonding with alloys, and I'm like, what the heck? I got a chemistry background, and I never heard that before. It's obvious you don't know what covalent bonds are or metallic bonds. So I asked Sasha to ask his wife. I haven't sprung this on the Adam Meakin yet. But anyway, hold on, Adam. Somebody,
because I missed Sasha's or Sasha's wife's. I missed that bit. I was looking up a little bit of philosophy for my summary, so I missed that. So you might have to just summarize for me, John.
Yeah, I just summarized it. It's the PhD booger eating schmuck M. Scott Veach. He was caught. One of the baltards caught him and said, "Scott, it's the first time I ever, one of the baltards would question somebody else. Covalent bonds in metals? You sure about that, son?" If one of the baltards did, right? And so it put him up against the
crystalline metal lattice.
Yeah, put him up against the wall with the covalent bond thing, right? And then he said, "No, I'm sorry, I was mistaken. I was talking about polyamorous bonds." And I'm there. What?
Polyamorous.
Polyamorous. Is this like? Because is this got sexual overtones or something there?
I'm about to Google it. Polyamorous, characterized by or involved in the practice of engaging, I thought it was, in multiple romantics relationships with the consent of the people. So it's like Rita, Sue and Bob too, is what he's talking about, isn't he, the film?
I thought I missed, that chemistry worksheet or the discussion on polyamorous bonds.
I tell you what, I was gutted I'd have missed that lecture, I tell you.
Yeah. So I told Sasha to ask his wife. I mean, just straight up, and like she said, it's preposterous. Sorry for that sidebar. It was just, as soon as I seen Sasha's name, I said, I got to ask him. But go ahead. Thanks, Sasha and his wife. Adam, final thoughts, sir.
I said I was looking up a bit of philosophy because I've enjoyed the chat with Guy tonight. So I'd like to quote a bit of George Benson. Because genuinely, I think this is important. We do what we're doing. I hit the streets in Europe and stuff like that. But there is a point that George Benson's words ring true. So should I sing it like I've come to America? Like Sexual Chocolate. No, I'll just quote it. I believe that children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. And I think out of tonight's stuff, I think that's the most important thing for me, and that's what to do with my kids. And if we all do it with ours, we don't have to instruct them. We don't have to tell them this. But if we teach them well, next 10 years, they'll be doing the leading the well. The way, sorry.
I think it was another philosopher too. I think it was a bunch of philosophers that said that in a song. If I'm not mistaken, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Was Young with them then? Teach your children well? I'm thinking it was. Thanks, Adam. Is that all? Channel shout-outs? Anything else?
Only, yeah, if you could subscribe to the Adam Meekin. I think me and Alwyn might have something planned to do some late night bits and bobs. I'm going to try on there. But if you could subscribe to my channel, the Adam Meekin on YouTube, I appreciate it, because we're coming out of lockdown. We're nearly allowed to wander around freely across this great plain. So it'd be nice to get out there and be able to live stream. So, yeah.
Can you spam that link in the YouTube chat?
I've not got it to hand, but I will stick it in there, yeah.
Please stick it. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. Betty, final thoughts? Any admin?
Yeah, there's some admin. Nathan asked me to shout out his now running debate on his channel, the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel. So
Nathan is ace.
Then we can go to that channel and what happens there.
Nathan's ace.
Yes, he is. And my final thoughts, yes, I like these open panels too. You don't know where it's going to end up. And I like the questions. I like the people asking genuine questions and that the youth is involved. That's good. That means that more people are waking up and even the youth is not indoctrinated anymore by all the tools that try to turn us to the wrong side.
Thanks,
So
Betty.
there you go.
Any? Oh, we got final admin, Betty.
Do we?
Yeah.
Got it yet?
I just got one from Retro Bill. Shout out, Retro. Liked your comment the other day, by the way, in underneath the video. It was classic.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yes. Yeah, we got that one. Yeah. He said, QE in one word. Can you give your opinion on the flat Earth's favorite argument, namely the transcontinental triangulation and the American arc of the parallel? Whatever that means.
Unbelievable. Is that his favorite argument? That numpty dipshit. No, I can't. That's the first time I ever heard that nonsense. And thanks for the plug. Thursday, Fight the Fat Girth is your last day because you're finished. Absolutely finished on the numpty clips. You ain't gonna believe it. It's that bad.
Got another one, by the way.
Go ahead.
Got one from Sasha. He says, and one donation for biology, math, astrology, astrophysics, and archaeology. Without you, fairy tale will not be completed.
Thanks, Sasha. Appreciate that. All right, guys. Hey, it was fun. Anything else, Betty? Last shot at it.
Well, yes, it's. I like these shows, like where it's going to be, and let's do more of them. I agree. So.
And by the way, that these open discussions were Betty's idea. I would have never came up with it because I got control issues.
You like to hear yourself talk, right?
What?
You like to hear yourself talk.
No, I do not.
Military folk like structure, Betty.
People like you to hear you talk.
And Adam made a good point, and I am all about that structure. Yeah, it has to be structured. But like I said, I'm branching out. Betty's had some great ideas, especially this one was one of the best. Little uncomfortable at the beginning, but I think we've got right into the groove. I really enjoy doing them. So thanks, Betty. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. Appreciate that. Like I said, stay tuned for the numpty clips. They're running every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 2 p.m. U.S. Central, 8 p.m. UK. There's nothing like it on the internet. I haven't seen anything like it. Even though it's genre specific, they're outstanding. I hope. Remember, I'll be back.